Hello and welcome to another edition of Scale JGM Reviews. And on the bench today you can see that we have the old school Honda Prelude. Now I don't know how much you guys know about these cars. I have had a couple of Honda Preludes myself during my life. However, I had the second generation version of this car. So it still had the flip up lights, but it was slightly more angled, a bit better looking. But this is kind of where it all kind of started. This, of course, is Tamiya's version of the kit. Tamiya are known for their precision with their modelling tooling and stuff like that, so I'm looking forward to seeing what's inside this box, if I'm honest. I'm hoping for a good clean cast and some nicely detailed parts. So let's take a look at the box, shall we? So we have the gorgeous artwork just there. See this completely standard car. This kit, I think, is circa 1983. So it is quite an old kit. It's quite hard to get hold of one of these days for a half a decent price. I was very lucky in my search to find one. You can just see there, you can see that it does have engine detail. That's an absolute bonus. And I'm very, very happy about that. So without further ado, let's see what's in this box. Now this kit is pretty much 40 years old. So, you know, I'm not too sure if that is the actual colour of the bag or if it's just gone a bit brown. It could be the actual colour of the bag. That looks like they're actually made in that browny colour. So let's get all this separated from its cellophane wrapping and see what's inside. And there she is, completely unwrapped. Apart from the tyres, don't think there's any point in doing those. So let's get started. So as I said, what I'm going to move that just over there. We have these very slightly round tinted windows. Nice detailing there on the back for the heater matrix lines. Other than that, there is nothing else. There's no other detail on there whatsoever. We have a sunroof, of course, and then you have the backlights there and the headlights for the flip-up lights if you decide to have them up. The fact that I can see those shows me that the kit does have the option to have the headlights up. And the indicator light's just here. For 40-year-old kit, to be honest, the quality is stunning. I mean, would we expect anything less from Tamiya? Yeah, beautiful. What we're going to do is have a quick look at the tyres. These are standard chunky tyres for any Tamiya kit. Bridgestones by the look of it. Now these fit the kit's wheels, which are just here. So I'm going to pull those out as well. These I think are 13-inch wheels. Very, very nicely detailed. Nicely chromed out as well. The chrome's lasted quite well for 40 years, to be honest. It's got the mail hubs on them, as do a lot of Tamiya kits. For stud. Yeah, they look pretty nice. Okay, so let's take a look at the decals. We have two styles and number plates. And we have an analog and digital dash. Digital dash was quite a rare option, but very, very neat for the 80s. We have a couple of Honda signs, some engine warning labels, and obviously the Prelude sign as well. Can't quite make out what the one below the Prelude sign says, but the one on the right says XX, and there's something that's very whited out just there. I'm guessing it says Prelude 4AT. Yeah, you should have obviously a better version on your screen now, so you should be able to make that out. Okay, right on to the first sprues. The first sprue, here we go. This seems to be one that's doing all the business. So we have the under bumper for the front, and we have the back bumper just there. We have the number plates, steering column, steering wheel. So retro, that steering wheel, I love it. We have the window wipers and the door mirrors. You have the pop-up headlights there, which we noticed earlier. We had the separate glass for those. That's great. Rear window mirror. Very comfortable looking front seats there. You have the back seats here inside the interior tub. The back of the seats, I never know why they did that. Maybe it's just too thick to print. It take a lot more plastic, but a lot of kits have these separately. Obviously you've got the automatic gearbox handle there, the gear stick, and the lower part of the dash just here with your pedals. It's an automatic, so it's only got two pedals, and an extremely detailed underside, which looks fantastic. We've even got the upper arm bit inside the steering wheel there, which looks great. very nicely detailed. I mean, because yeah, it's not a curbside kit, it's an engine kit, so the detail is complementary to the rest of the kit. But yeah, no, I really like that. Okay, here we go, on to the second full business sprue here. Now already I'm looking at the engine and my eyes lit up because that looks fantastic. The detail on that is superb. You got the gearbox clutch linkage. Oh, it looks fantastic. Obviously cylinder head there, oil pan, fan, air intake, the carburetor intake, just a carburetor cover. You've got the what I class as the injectors or something there. We have the throttle linkage, from what I can see, distributor cap, the exhaust manifold, obviously radiator hoses. You've got that massive long exhaust. You've got the anti-sway bar. At the top corner here we have the master cylinder, and then we have the steering linkage and the front subframe. Moving on, we have the fan shroud and the rear subframe. We have the 4 disc brakes, and we have the front suspension linkages. We've got the rear suspension just here, and then we've got the front steering arms just there. We have the fan belt and the cam belt cover, and a battery which is very nicely detailed, and you've got that beautiful interior tub there, which is like wrap around you, and really lovely detailed interior sides just there, along with both front prop shafts. It's a front wheel drive car, and some more engine bits just there that I can't quite identify. Could be ABS, something like that. But yeah, for a 40-year-old kit, I'm blown away by how detailed this is. It's stunning, absolutely stunning. Yeah, really excited to build this one. Right, on to the bit that everybody's waiting to see, that body. There we go. 40-year-old Tamiya kit. It's really well preserved. I'm looking for the mould lines, and I can't feel any. Okay, they've kept the mould lines in line with the boot shuts just there. I'm guessing it comes up across here. Yeah, I can feel it now. But really lovely, tidy, detailed body. A little bit smaller than I was expecting, to be honest, but yeah, you also get the bonnet, which would sit there, and you have the nice little touch here. You have the headlights are separate because obviously you can flip. They flip up and down, so you could actually they're not molded in with the bonnet. They would be separate regardless. So that actually is a nice little touch. They've not made a body line like this where you have to cut it out. They've actually kept them separate, which is great news. Okay, on to the instructions, and this is where you can see how old this kit is. It's yellow. That's all I can say about it. It's yellow. In the bottom there we can see copyright 1993, which shows us how old this kit is. It gives you lovely history on the car. Putting the engine out at 125 horsepower, which was, you know, very modest for 1983. Yeah, lovely. So we go to the first page, and we have some completed pictures along the sides. This is a nice touch. I've not actually looked at any Tamiya kits recently. I don't think they do this anymore. They just have the normal instructions, but I could be mistaken. I do have another kit I'm going to review shortly, and I will check in that. So, okay, so the first thing we do, we're not starting with the front suspension and steering like we do on a lot of cars. We're starting with the engine bay, which is great because you get right into it. So you've got the fan shroud, you've got the radiator cap, the battery, all the coolant and washer bottles, things like that. The master cylinders all going in. This is extremely detailed. I love it. I wish more manufacturers would put such detailed engines in their kits. It makes the world of difference. So obviously you've got the main engine block there, cylinder block, the exhaust manifold, you've got the gearbox, and even the starter motor. And then coming on here we have the you've got the carbs, you've got the throttle linkages, and you've got I guess that's just like an air filter. That's going to be where the air filter goes, isn't it? You've got the air coming in through the front of the engine, and that would be the air filter. Then you've got the fan belt, you've got the cam belt section and the fan belt. And again we have a gorgeous picture of the engine complete, next to another picture of the engine complete just about to be mounted into the car, and it's showing here obviously the injection side and the fuel hoses and the air intake, which then joins onto the air filter. From the bottom we have the prop shafts on both sides, and on the back you can see where, oh, sorry, this is still the front. You can see the subframe and the suspension arms, and it tells you just there in a very nice clear picture how it needs to all fit together, and obviously the colours. Then it actually tells you to clip down the tie rod end on the steering down so you don't snap it, which is, again, I don't think something they do these days. And we also have the anti-roll bar or anti-sway bar, depending on where you're from, and then that's how you complete the suspension. It's actually very nice. I can't believe how detailed this is for a 40-year-old kit. So now we start on the back, and you can see you've got the rear subframe, the rear suspension, a little bit less complex, but you know, it does the job. It only rolls, doesn't have to do anything else. And then you have the upper and lower part of the front dashboard there with the steering wheel and the steering column. Obviously, before you do that, make sure you paint it and apply the decal, because applying a decal once you put that steering wheel in is very hard. Right, next onto the seats and interior. Obviously, you've got the colour coding, you've got the back plate of that seat, you've got paint the speakers and all that sort of stuff. Not too detailed, but just enough to make a difference, because that lovely dashboard section goes in on top. And then it's on about the lights. I mean, you don't have to have the headlights. You don't have to have them in there. From the look of this, they might be retractable. We'll have a look further on in the instructions, but you can just keep them down if you don't want to go through that trouble. So the next part is showing you to cut out the headlight covers. And we've got two little nubbing bits there, like nubbins, like little cutouts. They do retract, so they are retractable. If you want to do that step, you don't have to. You can keep them attached to the bumper, the bonnet, sorry, if you want to do that and not worry about the bottom part. Although you still do have to attach it regardless, because obviously it's the front part of the headlight as well. So it's probably just easier to do it like it says there. Then you've got the glass, the sunroof, the front bumper and the lights, and so it gives you a nice diagram just there showing you how to align it. And then you've got mounting the body to the chassis. And then we have finally the wheels and the rear bumper and the exhaust pipe. You can see his pictures are so detailed still. That's great, just takes me right back. And then we come down to the final bits, you know, the big mirrors, the indicators, number plates, bonnet, blah blah blah. And then you can also obviously colour code your backlights and things, because these are like a brown colour, so you're going to have to paint them quite nicely to stop that brown from coming through. And then obviously attach it with the rear windscreen wiper. Next page we have is the completed car. Obviously colours and what it should look like. If it doesn't look anything like that, you've done it wrong. So make sure you study the diagrams. So it tells you in English obviously how to apply the decals as well. Obviously here we also have the colours. These are going to be Tamiya colours, XF, X and stuff like that. They still apply these days. Overall, yeah, very, very well detailed instructions that build a very nicely and well put together kit. So there we have it, the Honda Prelude from Tamiya, 1/24 scale. Considering this kit's 40 years old, the box is in extremely good condition from what I would expect. So kudos to the previous owner. I did get this on eBay for a very, very good price. If you can get one, I definitely recommend it. The detail level is insane. As always, thanks for your time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.